went to heaven about 6 years ago, but he was born in the Ukraine, in Soviet Union at the time, in a little village called Kortitz. He was a baby, the youngest of maybe 5 children, 4 girls, when his father was taken to Siberia.
Well,
and that was the end of it. It was finished, and there was a lot of political, religious reasons for this.
I was pretty different than other parents. They try to avoid the heavy part of their stories to their children.
Sure.
It was because my daughter, maybe we got a chance to talk to her lately.
Sure.
She's pretty busy. She's oversensitive and too smart. So I was like, okay, if I treat you like an adult, I have to let you know. Right? So you don't get delusions. Right? Like every single generation is a miracle.
Yes.
People who pass on today, like I know from what I learned from my grandpa, like several starvations, several movements, and you still made it here. I still made me here.
Right.
Right? And made my daughter a Canadian.
Right.
And for people, especially from Ukraine,
right,
from North era, from Northeast era, survival rate is such a miracle.
Yeah.
And even like some of my students in their 20s, from the 3 generations, 7 generations ago, was from Slavonia, and they have no notion of history. And you have no idea how your ancestors survived to come to Vancouver, and you're whining about your leggings are too tight.
Right. Right.
Lululemon.
Right. Right. This is your hard issue for the day.
Yeah. Of course.
My hard issue, my story growing up, Jay, and maybe you can identify with this, is my grandmother would tell me, she came to Canada as well at about the same time, 48, late 40s. She would tell me, and other family members would tell me, that once her husband, my grandfather, was taken and put into a concentration camp in Siberia, that she had to go, and they went from being with means financially and so forth to where their house was split in half, family moving in this half and you can keep this half, and she had to go to work as a housekeeper and so forth. The highlight may have been her bringing home a potato or 2, cutting it up to share with the 4 or 5 children, and she not eating. This was the highlight. So when they came here, I grew up with my grandma and her new husband and so forth, feasting at the Christmas and Easter and all the celebrations. But when she would say, I have another perspective, Danny, I can tell you about the early years, it was quite different. So when I listen to you, I think a different country, but some very strong similarities in terms of upbringing, with life being what it is, and all of that brought you and many like you to Vancouver, to the West, to a new life, like my dad.
In China, we have these slums that no matter what you said, no matter what you agree with the propaganda, people vote by their butt.
They work by their butt?
They vote by their
okay.
butt. Like where you choose to settle is where you feel the safest.
Right.
It doesn't matter how you declare you love your mother nation.
Right.
You're here.
Right. So what's life been like for you here?
I'm good. Like my body and soul already identify here as home.
Okay.
And it's just like my belongship is gonna be a struggle for the rest of my life. You can tell because like I'm too Chinese.
Okay.
Not even too Asian, not even too Chinese, but too Northland Chinese. The way I talk, the way I move, the way I eat, the way I befriend with people. You can find it because you travel in China before, like it's so deep.
Sure.
I have this savage barbarian of Northlands with me. I also have this tight, strict tradition of behavior, of social life.
Right.
Like if I can, like especially Northern I can be with you. I can give my heart to you. First time we met, and after a while, if you accept it, I expect you to do the same.
Right.
If you don't, I treat it like a
Pull it
betrayal.
back.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's too rush for the modern for the militants. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
Jay.
Yeah. So sorry I'm late.
No problem. How's your wife?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah.
Good to meet you in
Hey.
person.
Finally. Well, that's unexpected, I mean.
So the weather?
Well, yeah, it's Vancouver, all right. Feels like London. Smells like London as well. I'm so sorry. It's too, because I understand the more advanced generation goes,
Right.
the more detail you want to take care of yourself. I understand that, but the thing I taking over is too old. It's too traditional.
So the adjustment is lifelong for you, and you'll never get the Chinese out of you. You will always be who you are because of your formative years.
Yeah, for really years, I'm sort of like accepting it and just like shamelessly expressing myself. Like, I can tell you I'm speaking Chinglish. I'm just translating what I'm saying, and I'm proud of it.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
It used to be, I got an English name, and that's
My dad's name, by the way.
Oh my God.
He
sorry.
was Jacob, but early on he changed it to Jay.
Yeah, he must be a talkative guy.
Very talkative he was.
This name actually defined our personality in a way. Like back then people still making English names. Now more and more, newcomers just decide to torture you guys to learn.
I like it, and I like, names in other cultures usually have great meaning, significance.
No, the problem is the translation.
Yes.
The problem is Japanese did really well adopt their pronunciation into English letter, the phonics. Chinese, no.
Right.
Because the pinyin actually adopt from Latino, more of Russian. So the English letter they're using pronounce differently. So nobody can actually pronounce my last name right before they actually learning pinyin or Chinese on the English level. I mean, like it just the letter is using. But it's on the passport, we cannot change it. So sorry.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
But that's pretty much advanced. Like youngsters are now just abandon their English name when they're in the ESL. Sorry.
Sure, no problem. You take it. Hey, Jay.
So sorry I'm late.
No problem. How's your wife?
Oh, she's fine. She's fine. Yeah.
Good to meet you in person.
Finally. Well, that's unexpected, I mean.
So the weather?
Well, yeah, it's Vancouver, all right. Feels like London. Smells like London as well.